the scrimmage, first of all. How do you think the secondary was able to perform on Friday?
Let's see. I thought we did some good things, and I think that there's still a long ways to go. I think from a mindset of keeping the points down, that a lot of guys will try to slow down their back pedal and break on routes that they shouldn't be breaking on. And then the offense will go deep. So I think that as a secondary, that our main purpose, our main job is to keep the points down. And in order to do that, we need to stop the deep throws. So I think one thing that we improved today was having a faster back pedal and really honoring those deep throws and then reacting to the shorter throws. And that proved to be a recipe for success today. The defense played really well. And so I think that going forward, if we eliminate the deep throws, drive the short ones, play assignment sound, play hard, then we're going to get that dominant defense that we're looking for.
Yours was a unit that lost a number of contributors last year. How has the development come through spring? What do you see from the secondary guys as far as where you thought you'd be at this point?
I think that we're improving a lot. We definitely realized going into the spring that we have a lot of great athletes, but guys that haven't played in our system. So I think the guys with the most experience are Kai and Michael Davis and Jordan Prater. But other than that, and I've played a little bit on defense and I know everything. So other than that, guys are completely new. So this spring has been about learning the defense, about buying into the culture, and then building on those fundamentals in order to become that dominant defense that we're looking for. So I think that step by step, guys are feeling more comfortable with what we're doing. We've put a lot of different packages in really fast, and we haven't had time to really get into the details of each one of them. So some of the newer guys don't really know how to react to that. But for the most part, going into the fall, I think guys have a lot greater idea of what's expected and what they need to learn, and that going into the fall that we're going to be ready and we're going to be much improved.
Of those new guys, is there anybody that's caught your eye or that maybe has stood out a little bit?
Good question. I think that Micah Hanneman's playing really well. He just got back from a mission, so it's cool to see someone. I served a mission, so I know what it's like to get back and get right back into things, and it's hard. So I think he's playing really well at corner, and you can tell he's athletic, he's long, he's fast, he's going to play the ball. I know people are excited about Eric Takanaki. He's playing great. He's quick, he's fast, he's strong, he's picked up the defense well. Another guy that in the scrimmage had a really good scrimmage was BJ, and he had a good hit, and today he had an interception. So it's fun to see guys that it's their first time here, and they make a play, and everyone's excited. So that's one thing I like about our group is that when one guy makes a play, we're all excited. And I feel like we're really tight-knit, even more so than the last couple of years. I feel like we were really rooting for each other, and that as a group, we're going to be able to keep the points down and do our job in order to win some games.
Where do you feel you are personally and maybe the opportunities that you look to that are ahead of you in this upcoming season?
I feel like I'm really comfortable with the defense. I feel like I've gotten to a point where I understand things at a deeper level where I can kind of take it to a whole nother mastery. So instead of, when I first got here, you kind of think, okay, on this coverage, my job is this. And you think, okay, don't screw up my job. And then the next year you kind of learn what other people are doing. And I kind of understand. And now I'm to the point where I know everyone's job pretty well, that now I'm looking at formations, I'm looking at tendencies, I'm looking at down and distance, I'm looking at his stance, things that can give me another key where I can take my game and react even faster and make more plays because of my preparation. So I feel like going into the fall, when we run player run practices, I want to run things. I want to teach people the coverages. I want to make sure everyone's doing techniques exactly right. So that way when we hit the fall, we'll be running. And so I see myself as, being a leader out there and getting people in the right spot, and then me, myself, making plays and getting people fired up.
We've talked to a lot of linebackers and defensive linemen about Coach Mendenhall taking over the defense and how it's affected them. Mm-hmm. From a secondary perspective, how has that changed things a little bit?
It's Coach Mendenhall, he's made clear that as defensive backs, we control the game. When a defensive lineman makes a mistake, maybe they get a 5-yard gain or someone else will make up for it. If a defensive back makes a mistake, they score a touchdown and everyone sees it. So as defensive backs, he's really hit home that we control the points. So we can't give up those easy touchdowns. It just can't happen. So Coach Mendenhall, he's he's really instilled a lot of discipline in us and making sure that we do things exactly right and that we are completely focused in so that the other team can't score those points.
Bronco said the defense has a long way to go after the scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement of you guys. Is it that dire?
So like I was saying before, we have a lot of new guys, a lot of guys that are learning the defense. So I think learning that defense and taking those steps is going to get us in the right direction. So right now, the biggest focus for the defense is we need to try hard, and it's getting better. It's not where it needs to be, but guys need to try hard, and then they need to know what to do, and that takes time. That's going to take a lot of work this summer. So like I said, I expect us to have player run practices. I expect us to have player run film sessions so that when we hit the fall, all those mistakes we're making that are assignment based of just knowing your job, that's not going to happen. And then from there, as a defense, we're going to be able to become much more dominant once everyone knows what to do. And then the athleticism, the speed, the size that we have as a defense is going to be much more evident because guys aren't going to be so flustered because things happen really fast in college football. Especially our offense, we move fast. You don't have time to think. So I think once everyone is really comfortable knowing their assignments, then our defense is going to become really dominant.
How important was it to have Christian Stewart at quarterback to give you your defense a look of a D1 quarterback?
Incredible. He's made some really outstanding throws this spring. He's made back shoulder throws. He's made put balls over the top on guys, hit them right in the chest. So having that as a defense, it prepares us to know what we need to prepare for, because those are the kind of quarterbacks that we're going to face this fall. I mean, it'd be easy if you had a fifth string walk-on quarterback thrown at you and you're getting interceptions, batting balls down to get really comfortable. So by having Christian and the way he throws the ball and the way he goes through his progression, that really prepares us. So I think it's been monumental to our development.
You've seen Coach Howell from your first year to last year. Now, what's Coach Howell been like this spring?
This spring, he's been a lot tougher. I think last year he tried to kind of coach around guys. We had guys that were really athletic and really, just amazing, like I said, amazing athletes, but they weren't all the way bought in. They didn't try hard all the time. They didn't care about what their job was necessarily. They tried to do different things. So I think Coach Howell has been really strict on knowing your assignment and playing hard and then being able to make plays, and then that's what's going to get you on the field. So he's been really tough this spring, and he's focused on the little things, on the technique, and things that might not seem to be a big deal to you when you first get here, but you learn quickly that it's the little things that make a big difference, and that will be the difference between an interception or giving up a touchdown.
You see a different side of him being, in the position group than we probably see as media members. Personality-wise, are you guys? Is he one of those coaches that you guys get close to, or is he more, kind of the the drill sergeant type approach? What type of approach do you see from him?
I think he's a really good balance. I think he's tough on us in practice. When we do individual, he expects us focused. He expects us trying hard. When we're in meetings, we're have 2.5 hour meetings, and he expects us to view it as another class. We have notepads, we have a dry erase board, and we're drawing up coverages, and he expects us to be alert and attentive, and he expects us to put extra work in, and so he's really tough on us in that way. But then he's someone that I trust, and that us as DBs, we trust a lot, because he has us over at his house. We have meals there once every week or so, every couple weeks, and he's laughing with us, and so I really love Coach Howell, and that he's balanced. I like how he's tough on us, but I like how he's someone that will have you over to his house, he'll laugh with you, and he'll be your friend. But then, like I said, when it's time to go, he expects a lot from you.
You mentioned that guys weren't necessarily buying in as much last year and things like that. We've heard that from quite a few people on the defensive side of the football this spring. How much of the struggles last year do you attribute to that and guys not buying in or maybe playing as hard, like you mentioned, as opposed to the injuries? Which was more of an issue last year?
Honestly, I think it was more of not buying in and not being 100% focused on what you need to do every play. Like I said, as DBs, we control the points, and there were so many times last year when a defensive back was being lazy, he wasn't focused on his assignment, he tried to make a play for someone else, tried to jump an out route, and they didn't out and up, and they score a touchdown. And when that happens, that's how we lose games. Or a defensive back, he he's supposed to collision and carry the receiver, and he collisions and he lets the receiver go, and they throw a touchdown. And everyone's looking at the safety, or the safety lets his guy go, and everyone's looking in the corner. But so as a defensive back, we're all tied in together. So if one guy's off on one little thing, it affects everybody. So I think that doing those little things, focusing on your assignment and not giving up those big plays, if you just take away those double moves, those long passes, and I honestly think that if you take away those easy points, we win a lot more games last year.